Let me paint a picture for you. You just had a conversation with a guy. It wasn't long, maybe 10 minutes. But you walk away, but he's still thinking about you hours later. He's smiling at his phone, replaying the way you said something. It's not what you wore, it's not how you looked, though yes, you looked great. It's something else. It's something you said, something only you would say. And that's the moment I want to talk to you about today. You see, attraction isn't just about beauty or chemistry. It's about emotional fingerprints, those little things we say or do that stick with someone, that make them think there's something about her. And one of the most underrated tools for creating that emotional imprint, a nickname. Now, I'm not talking about babe or honey or any of those generic terms we throw around. I'm talking about a nickname that feels personal, playful, and just cheeky enough to leave a mark. One that only you call him. One that makes him feel something every time he hears it. Because when you give a guy a nickname, you're doing something subtle but powerful. You're creating a shared moment, a secret between just the two of you, a private language that makes him feel seen, teased, admired, even a little addicted. That's what makes you unforgettable. And once you understand how to do that with intention, you'll never just be another girl again. You'll be the one he thinks about when he's driving home, the one whose words echo in his head when he's lying in bed, the one who left a mark. So let's get into it. Let me share 5 nicknames that when used the right way, woohoo, will have him smiling to himself and wondering how you got into his head so effortlessly. Let's talk about one of my favorite nicknames to use with a man, trouble. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Why would I call someone trouble? But hear me out. This one word, said in the right tone, at the right moment, can completely shift the energy between you and a man. It can create playful tension, flirtation, and even a low-key emotional challenge that keeps you dancing in his thoughts. When you call a guy trouble, you're not accusing him of anything serious. You're teasing him. You're playfully acknowledging the mischief in his eyes, the confidence in his body language, or the cheekiness in the way he's flirting with you. You're saying, I see what you're doing and I'm not falling for it, but I kind of love that you're trying. Men love to feel seen, especially when it's not in a heavy, emotional, tell me your trauma kind of way, but in a way that feels fun. When you look at him with that half smile and say, you're such trouble, what you're really doing is giving him a compliment wrapped in flirtation. You're letting him know that he's gotten your attention, that he's affecting you, and that you're enjoying the game. And here's the twist. When you say it, you also become the woman who can keep up. You're not just admiring his charm. You're matching it. You're telling him, you're smooth, but I'm smoother. And men remember that. They remember the woman who didn't just fall under their spell, but flirted right back and held her own. The best time to drop this nickname is in the middle of banter. Maybe he's teasing you, challenging you, or being a bit too confident in how charming he thinks he is. That's your cue. You look at him, raise an eyebrow and say, you know what, you're trouble. Maybe even throw in a little laugh. Light, flirty, effortless. Then change the subject. Why? Because that moment lingers. You've dropped the spark and walked away, leaving him chasing the feeling. And here's what's beautiful about it. It's low risk. You're not being too intense. You're not confessing undying love. You're playing. And that's the energy that creates attraction that lasts, because it makes a man feel good. It makes him feel like he's fun. He's noticed. He's got an edge. And it makes you stand out as the woman who didn't just sit back and smile. You gave him a nickname that's now living rent-free in his head. So next time you're with a guy and you feel that playful spark, try it. Say the word, trouble. Then watch what happens. You just might see him smile in a way he hasn't in a long time, because someone finally saw the spark in him and gave it a name. And trust me, he won't forget who did. Let's talk about one of the most powerful ways to speak directly to a man's heart, by calling him hero. Now, I know that might sound a little dramatic at first. We live in a world where women are strong, independent, and capable. And that's exactly why this nickname works so well. Because when a confident, self-sufficient woman looks at a man and says, "Thanks, hero," it creates an emotional shift in him. It makes him feel trusted, needed, and valued without ever making you seem needy. Here's the truth that so many women overlook. Men don't want to save someone, but they do want to feel like they can show up for someone. There's a part of the masculine identity that craves purpose and contribution. When you call a man hero, even in a light or teasing way, you speak directly to that deep desire in him to be useful, appreciated, and admired. You're not asking him to do anything grand. It could be something as small as opening a jar, walking you to your car, giving you advice, or offering a solution to a problem you casually mention. And when he does it, instead of just saying thanks, you tilt your head, flash that soft smile, and say, "You're such a hero." It's charming, it's unexpected, it's flirtatious in the subtlest way. And here's the magic. He feels it. He may laugh it off or play it cool in the moment, but later, when he's alone, that nickname replays in his head. He doesn't hear thanks. He hears, "You're a man I can count on." And that makes you unforgettable. What makes this nickname so impactful is how rare it is. Most men are used to being called by their names, their job titles, or generic compliments, but hero feels personal. It creates an archetype in his mind. You're casting him in a role that elevates him. You're saying, "I see the part of you that wants to lead, protect, and support, and I admire it." This isn't about feeding his ego. It's about recognizing value in a way that's fun and light, but still speaks volumes. Now, the key is not to overuse it. You don't want to throw it around for every little thing. Save it for moments that count. Let it feel earned, playful, and a little cheeky. That's what makes it stick. That's what turns it into a moment he remembers long after you've gone. So next time he does something kind, even something small, look him in the eye, soften your voice just a little and say, "Thanks, hero." Because that one word might just be the reason he keeps thinking about you long after the moment has passed. Let's talk about a nickname that taps into something primal in a man, Captain. Now, this one is smooth. It carries a subtle authority. It flatters without being obvious. And when you use it in just the right moment, it makes a man feel like he's stepping into his role as a leader, with you as the woman who trusts and enjoys the ride. Here's why it works so well. Men, at their core, love to lead. Not in a controlling way, not in a you can't do it yourself kind of way, but in a way that says, "I've got this, let me take care of it." It's about initiative, decision making, being the one who steps forward instead of standing back. When you call a guy captain, you're giving him that title in a flirty, playful way that tells him, "I see what you're doing and I like it." Maybe he's planning a date, maybe he's organizing a trip, picking a restaurant, or suggesting something spontaneous. That's when you drop it. You smile and say, "All right, Captain, what's the plan?" And just like that, you've given him the reins while still holding your own power. It creates this beautiful tension. You're not handing over control, you're sharing it with charm and chemistry. And let's be honest, most men don't hear nicknames like this every day. They hear, "Hey, dude," or just their name. But Captain, it's unique. It says something about how you see him, and men are incredibly drawn to women who reflect back a strong version of themselves. When you call him Captain, you're not just teasing him, you're showing him that you trust him in that moment. And trust, when paired with flirtation, is incredibly seductive. What's also great about this nickname is the tone you can play with. Say it seriously, and he'll feel respected. Say it with a wink and he'll know you're flirting. You can even use it sarcastically when he's pretending to be in charge and you're just humoring him. "Easy there, Captain, don't crash the ship." Either way, it gives him something to respond to. It creates momentum in the interaction. And here's what happens next. He starts to feel that with you, he's more decisive, more confident, more masculine. You're not demanding anything, you're just playfully inviting him into that role, and that makes you magnetic. Because suddenly it's not just about the nickname, it's about how you made him feel when you said it. So next time a guy steps up, takes charge, or even just tries to, look at him with that knowing smile and say, okay, Captain, lead the way. Because when you give a man a role that makes him feel trusted, sexy, and seen, he won't just remember it. He'll remember you as the woman who made him feel like the man he's always wanted to be. Let's talk about a nickname that's bold, cheeky, and impossible to forget. Flirt. Now this one isn't about stroking a man's ego. It's about playfully calling out what he's already doing. And trust me, when you label it in the right way, it creates a moment that lives rent-free in his head long after the conversation ends. We've all been there. He's turning on the charm, giving you that smile that lingers a second too long. He's teasing you, complimenting you, maybe even accidentally brushing your arm, and you're enjoying it. But instead of just blushing or giggling and letting it slide, you lean in confidently and say, you are such a flirt. In that moment, something magical happens. You're not just receiving his attention, you're naming it. You're meeting him in the game, acknowledging the energy, and flipping the script in the most captivating way, because now you're the one in control. He thought he was charming you, and now he's suddenly the one being observed, playfully exposed, and left slightly off balance in the best way. Men love flirtation, but even more than that, they love a woman who can match it. When you call him flirt, you're doing exactly that. You're not being cold, you're not being overly eager, you're playing. And there is so much power in that word. It says, I see you. I see what you're doing. And I like it, but I'm not falling for it just yet. And it's the secret. It introduces tension. You're not rejecting his charm. You're just refusing to be swept away by it. And that drives men wild because it tells them you're different. You're not just impressed by his lines. You're engaged, aware, and totally in your power. Use this nickname when the moment is already warm, when the conversation's flowing, when he's clearly leaning in, when the chemistry is undeniable. Say it with a smile, with a playful eye roll, or even a little laugh. You're such a flirt. Then pause. Let it hang. Let him feel seen and slightly challenged. Because the minute you call him that, he starts wondering, did she like it? Is she into this? Am I winning her over, or is she just enjoying watching me try? And that's exactly what you want. You want him intrigued, curious, hooked. The beauty of flirt is that it walks this perfect line between fun and meaningful. Is light enough to keep things playful, but personal enough that he remembers you saying it. And only you. Every time he starts flirting with another woman, part of him will hear your voice in his head saying, you're such a flirt, and he'll instantly remember how alive he felt in that moment with you. So go ahead, next time he's pouring it on, don't just sit back and blush. Smile, lean in, and say it like you mean it. You're a flirt, aren't you? And watch him melt. Let's talk about the most disarming, seductive, and unforgettable nickname of them all. Mine. This one isn't like the others. It's not teasing. It's not light-hearted. It's not even about calling out what he's doing. Mine is about claiming a moment, a connection, a spark that feels too real to ignore. And when said with the right energy, when it's whispered, when it's playful, when it's bold, it leaves a man absolutely captivated. Here's the thing. Most men live in a world where they're constantly trying to earn attention, approval, interest. They're in pursuit mode. But when you call a man mine, you're flipping that script. You're saying, you don't have to chase right now. You're wanted, claimed, desired. And that changes everything. It's powerful because it speaks to his desire to be chosen, to not just be attractive, but to be wanted by a woman who could have anyone. It's primal. It bypasses logic and goes straight to the emotion. Now, the magic is in how you use it. You don't say it when he's being distant or unsure. You say it when there's already tension, when he's pulling you close, when he's being irresistible and he knows it. That's when you lean in, lock eyes with that little smile and say, you know you're mine, right? Or when he makes you laugh, when he opens up and says something vulnerable, you softly murmur, Mine, like it's just a thought that slipped out. And just like that, you've said something that brands the moment. Because now he's not just feeling chemistry, he's feeling claimed. He's feeling wanted by someone who sees him deeply and who's bold enough to say it without fear. You're not asking him for commitment. You're not demanding anything. You're just letting him feel what it feels like to be yours. It's an instant connection cue. It breaks through the noise because most people don't say things like this. Most women are cautious, careful, guarded. But when you say mine with that confident glint in your eye, it's unforgettable. Because it sounds like the future. It sounds like fantasy. It sounds like something he didn't know he needed to hear until you said it. And that's the secret of seduction. It's not about chasing. It's not about pleasing. It's about being undeniable. Mine makes you undeniable. It lingers in his mind when he's alone. It makes him imagine what it would be like to actually be yours. And that fantasy is powerful, so say it when it's right. Say it when the energy is hot or when the moment is intimate. Say it like you don't have to earn him, because deep down you already know he's thinking the same thing. Mine. One word. One heartbeat. One moment he'll never forget. Here's the truth no one tells you. Attraction isn't just about looks, timing, or even chemistry. It's about moments. Tiny, unforgettable moments where someone feels something different with you. Something they can't explain but can't stop thinking about. And these nicknames, they're not just cute little words. They are emotional anchors, triggers, tools that, when used with presence and playfulness, create those moments that stay with him long after you've walked away. Trouble makes him feel like he's fun and dangerous in the best way. Hero taps into his desire to be seen as strong and dependable. Captain gives him a sense of purpose and masculine direction. Flirt tells him you're onto him and loving every second of it. And mine, that one makes his heart skip because it feels like home. But here's the most important part. These nicknames only work when you say them with intention. Don't just memorize them. Feel them. Use them when the moment is right. Let your energy carry the meaning behind the words. Let your eyes do half the talking. Let your confidence do the rest. Because the woman who knows how to call a man by something other than his name, who chooses words that spark something in him, is the woman who lingers in his mind. She's the woman he thinks about in the quiet hours, the one he compares everyone else to. So here's your call to action. Pick one of these nicknames and try it this week. Not in a forced way, not in a robotic way, but in a moment when it feels playful, intimate, or a little electric. Say it, watch his reaction, and then smile. Because you'll know you just planted a seed he won't be able to shake. You don't need a script. You don't need a pickup line. You just need one word that makes him feel something. And when that word comes from you, it's game over. Now go light that spark. He won't know what hit him.